Hey guys, thanks for joining today's session. In today's session, I will start with give you a demo on how to perform data imputation. Next, we will look at currency conversion case study, wherein we will see for a given specific date and currency what is the corresponding exchange rate, and how to convert different currencies in single currency. Followed by this, we will continue with exploring how to append queries and how to perform merge queries, or how to perform different types of joins in Power Query. Okay, I'll start with the data imputation. What is data imputation? In simple term, replace the missing values with some meaningful values. This is my data set. I'll just show you an Excel sheet. This is my data set. So different products are there. For the different month, how many units we sold it. That is what we can see here. But for some month, we could see some blank values here. So we need to fill in these blank values with average. For example, if you look at, if you take this product AX, we will take the average of this one, and then we will replace the average, or we will fill in the average of this row value into the blank spaces. In the case of data science, right? The data scientists usually what they do data imputation, because missing, not only data scientists, even for data analysis at times we need to perform data imputations. We cannot simply remove the columns or rows which have missing values in it, because removing the missing values and missing rows in a given data set, what will happen is you will end up with having a less number of records in your data set. The size of your data set will go down. With a smaller data set, if you can perform any prediction when it comes to machine learning or deep learning, right? So it will be biased. It can lead to some kind of bias. So to overcome the bias, what we will do is we will perform data imputation. And importantly, when it comes to machine learning and deep learning, majority of the algorithms dictates us to use the non-empty columns. In case of any empty values are there, you cannot train the algorithm, it will fail, it will throw an error. Okay, but now the question is, so in that case, if I replace the missing value with some average or something like that, so will that really make sense? For example, in this case we take, let's assume that if this is a price value, right? So price of egg in January, February, March, for different month, the prices will vary. Even though the prices vary for different month, there will not be much variation. Hence, you can rely on average. If you take the average of all the month price, and if you fill wherever the missing values, it will not cause much variation. But when it comes to unit sold is unpredictable. Okay, but for the sake of understanding how to perform data imputation, we will go ahead with replace the missing value with some average of each product's unit sold. Okay, I just show you how to replace the missing values. Replacing the missing values is nothing but data imputation, but there are different techniques are available to perform the data imputation. We use k nearest neighbor algorithm when it comes to machine learning algorithm to perform the data imputation. In some cases, we do the data imputation based on some conditional mean. Anyhow, I'm not going to talk too much on that side, because you will get overwhelmed. So this is the data set. I already, in the interest of time, already loaded into Power BI desktop. I just go here and let me just open the Power Query editor. That is where we are going to do all kind of data imputation, cleaning everything. In the past, we have seen how to address various data issues such as formatting issues, data type issues, and learnt what is derived variable and how to create them with few examples. Anyhow, now I'll show you how to perform data imputation for this data set. So here we can see that the column headers were not showing correctly. The first row of this data set as the column header, we need to promote this column, this first row as a column header. So what we do is we go to transform, use first rows as headers. Now my column headers are correctly promoted. Good. So next, when we see this data set, we can see null values here. So what I'm going to do is now I'm going to replace all the null values by 0. Replace all the null values by 0 for the time being. So what I do is I just select this first column, the July, right, the month, January 2020, until this end. You need to hold shift in order to do multi-selection. Okay. So these columns got selected. Next, what I do is I just go to replace here, replace values. This is one way of replacing values in multi-columns in one go. Values to find null, in our case null, and I'm going to replace all the null by 0. What I do is, now if you see here, all the null value got replaced by 0. Okay. Now this is the query, M query used to perform the data imputation. So in this case, we replace the null values by 0. I just copy it, and what I do is I'm not going to paste it now. The next step is I just scroll towards the left. Okay, all the columns, the necessary columns which needs data imputation, I already got selected. I just go to add column, and you can see something like statistics here. Here I click on this average. Now average got computed for each row. Good. So next what I do is I wanted to replace the 0 wherever we filled in null values as 0. I'm going to replace that 0 by the each row's average. Each row zeros will be replaced by this average. So what I am going to do is here I'm going to click on it, insert step after. So here the previous steps variable name is inserted average. That is the one holding the recent transformations. So hence what I do is I just go here and inserted average. I'm going to say on inserted average. So earlier we replace the null by 0. So now what we are doing is we are going to replace the 0 by average. You need to specify it in the square bracket for each value. You need to specify for each value, you need to specify average. Next one is I just press enter. Perfect. We are able to correctly perform the data imputation. It is that much simple. I just go here and I just, to get the full view, I just close that one, the steps here. Now what I do is I just go right click on it. Here I just use fixed decimal number because the decimal values are very big one. You can do fixed decimal, and here you can see I'm not able to do it in one go. Okay. Now perfect. So we did the data imputation perfectly. This is one way of doing the data imputation. In case of any missing values, we replace the blank values or the missing values by average. Conditional average is little bit different. I will share one assignment to you all. Probably you can